Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Hello. I'm Melissa L. Watkins, evidential medium and master instructor with integrated energy therapy. I'm here showing up on Facebook and streaming on YouTube. So warm welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, hearting. Thank you for the stars, whatever the support, even if it's just energetic. For those of you who see my content or kind of stay in the background, that's okay. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. So I'm just excited to be here with you on a Friday. So happy Friday, everyone. It is Friday. Thank you for all of you who've reached out and have utilized the 10% off the 60-minute session. So really excited about that. I might have to... I only have so much energy. And October is always a big month because the veil is so thin. And so people do want to get in contact with crossed over loved ones. It's just that time of year. I get it. But I have to also protect my energy. So if you're wanting one of those, I would try to get that scheduled sooner rather than later because I might have to limit the amount of the hour sessions I do per week. That's all. I'm thinking maybe just 3 a week. So those can be done virtually or in person. So Zoom meeting or in person, not a problem. And the new office, so excited, 188 Genesee Street in Auburn, Suite 117. Yeah, so things are progressing. Things are progressing in a beautiful, beautiful way. And that's actually the message that kind of came out to start this weekend or this Friday was fork in the road, that you have to make a decision, that it is time to make a decision. And for some of you, it's getting out of your own way. It's believing in yourself. It's taking the lessons and the struggles. Having been someone who came out of survival mode or still is working on coming out of survival mode, I still don't always recognize when I'm uncomfortable. That takes some awareness. And for those of us who have never been able to be aware of our own stuff, sometimes we don't even know what we want because we don't sit down with ourselves enough to really embody, listen to, feel into what it is we want. And then, of course, there's the whole gambit of allowing yourself to have what you want, right? That's a whole nother skill set. So this is the time. This is the time to get quiet. This is the time to sit down. This is the time to make the decision. And one of the things that I really like about, even though you may feel like you're being brought to a crossroads, a fork in the road where you have to make a decision, there's only right, there's only left, there's no more going straight. There's no more staying on the path. This path you have been on does not exist anymore. Whether it's a career trajectory or a relationship or situation, it doesn't exist, or it's not going to exist in the near future. So you're being brought this decision that just you have to make it. And it's okay. And I think that's what Spirit wants you to know. It's okay, because even if you choose the safe path, maybe the path that isn't really going to get you what you want, Spirit always gives you a second chance. So even if you feel like you're being kind of forced into a decision, or there's only really one option because you're not ready to take a leap of faith, you're not ready to lean into your faith, to trust and act on the intuition you're receiving, it's okay. It's a process. The opportunity will come back around. It will look different. It might even be with someone different. It might be a different relationship. It might be a different job. But that's what Spirit wants you to know. Like, there's never any really wrong choice. Maybe it takes you longer to get to where you want to go. Maybe you have to go with someone different or with something different. But not to have fear in having to make the choice or being guided to make a choice. I think it was just the last reading I did when I talked about That thought just literally flew out of my head. Okay, I guess I wasn't supposed to talk about that. All right, moving on. So fork in the road. It's time. It's time to make a decision. It's time to go in the direction you're being led to go in. And it's not going to be comfortable. And it's not going to be bumpy. I was actually watching a reel on, I think, TikTok yesterday, and it was a girl in a car channeling. And it was one of the, maybe the first times she's channeled. It was bumpy. It was not fluid, but boy, she was sticking with it. She was giving it her effort. She was giving it her all. And the message she was bringing through was very, very timely, and it was very, very important and needed for many. And it was a collective message that has been coming out in a lot of different ways with a lot of different spiritual teachers or channelers, myself included. But what I really loved about her is her authenticity and her not giving up. And I feel like this fork in the road card is asking you to do that. Just be authentic and don't give up. All right. Let's pull some more cards. Good morning, Deb. Thinking of you, sending prayers. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, Colleen. Yes, those of you in the path of this storm, sending prayers. So if you're part of my Guidance 311 group, please go and comment under the post that I did for sending prayers to Florida. And really, I think all the areas that are going to be affected by this storm coming up the East Coast in the next week. So please put your prayers in there. I appreciate it. If you're not part of 311 group, go and run over there on Facebook and become part of the group. Yeah, look at that. You're coming out of loss and you're getting dedicated to you. So the loss is that relationship. The loss is that job. The loss is that goal. The loss is whatever didn't work out in some way in your life in the past. And, you know, this last lunar eclipse that we just had, not even a week ago, that's what I was feeling. Something got cleared out. And yeah, you're going to have to grieve that process, right? When something gets cleared out, whether you're expecting it, you've been working on it or not, there is a grieving process. There's a change. You're not having something you thought you were going to have, right? So now it's time to get dedicated, stay consistent with what it is you do want. So this is, I feel like this is Spirit's validation. Interesting. Wow, this was literally flipped up, right side up. Yeah, because you're being freed. Whatever bondage you were in, whatever was holding you back, whatever the constraints were. And for everybody, it looks different. For everybody, I mean, it can be addiction. It can be responsibility. It can be survivor mode. It can be abusive relationship. Whatever it is for you, take what resonates. But that's what's going on. You're really coming out of the shadow, a shadow period that is illuminating the way forward, which is going to be really, really uncomfortable because you've never done it and been there before. Stay in your authenticity, keep going, persevere. That's what this weekend is going to be asking you to do. Yeah, because this is what's going on. It's time for you to become independent. Sorry, guys, I got nope. It's really, the whole microphone thing just throws me off. But anyway, yeah, because you're coming into your independence. You're breaking the chains of some bondage, whatever that looks like for you, right? Maybe it's a sugar addiction. Maybe it's an abusive relationship. Can run the gambit. It can be anywhere in between those two, right? But it's because you're becoming independent. You're taking back your sovereignty. You're taking back your divinity. You're taking back. Spirit's like, go to the bottom of the deck. Go to the bottom of the deck for the last card. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, because it is time for you to now have abundance. And you couldn't have abundance in a situation that was holding you back, was not letting you be authentic, was not honoring or respecting your sovereignty, your wisdom, your divinity, your connection to your higher self and God, Christ consciousness. So the abundance is on the other side of letting go, losing whatever needs to be lost, no matter how difficult it is, because this lunar eclipse there was a sweeping change that came through your life in some way. And for some of you, it was just completely internal. It was just, I'm not putting up with that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not that anymore. And now you're going to really embody and change your external. And that's where the abundance is coming from. That's why you haven't been able to make the money you want to make or find the most compatible soulmate that you want, because you've been holding on to something that didn't serve you. You were holding on to something, a way of being, a thought pattern, a shadow aspect, whatever it was keeping you in some kind of bondage, some inner child core wounding. And now you're breaking free. And now you're breaking free. Good morning, Darlene. Good morning, Roseanne. Good morning, Lacey. I'm so glad, Tracy. And those of you watching on the replay, thank you for being here. Please comment #replay, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Subscribe. Join your energy to my tribe. They inform the reading, guys. When you interact, it informs the reading. Your energy gets tied in. It's beautiful. So abundance is on its way. Abundance is on its way. And I feel like, and I'm going to be doing a reading for the solar eclipse that's coming up on the 2nd, just in a couple of days, because that is going to be a new beginning. So where there was an ending with this lunar eclipse, now you're coming into new beginnings starting October 2nd. So this eclipse season, in some way, is going to change your experience. And you're being asked to make the decision. I actually made a pretty big decision myself this week. And in some ways, it felt like stepping backward. But in other ways, it's going to allow me freedom. Freedom to do more of this work. Freedom to not worry about my safety and stability and my finances. And I'm looking forward to it, even though it's taking me back into. But I have the wisdom. I have the experience. I know how to do it well. So in some way, they're getting a very different version of me than I was 10 years ago. And I'm ready for that. So I want you to be ready for that. I want you to look at whatever decision and choice you're being led to. Are you taking the time to give yourself the space and the grace to realize that even if you're doing something where you feel like you're stepping back into an old role, that maybe you're doing something you've done before, but you are not the same version of you. It's not going to go the same way. It's going to be better. It's going to be better because you are better. Because you are better. I want to get some advice. Let's go to our trusty angel guide by Kyle Gray. If you've been with me for any length of time, you know for a good year at least, all of my daily readings ended with a angel guide giving us some advice. So let's do that today. This one really wants to come out. Oh, yeah. And this is why. Because in some way, you're coming into connection. You're coming into connection with your higher self. You're coming into connection with your most compatible soulmate for some of you. This energy really has been clearing out, again, inner child wounding, relationships that didn't serve you so that you could have connection that does serve you. So for some of you, yes, in the next month and a half, I feel like you might meet someone, or you're going to be ready to meet someone. So, yeah, I feel like romance and connection for many people right now, it's time, because you've cut the cords or are cutting the cords to that which no longer serves you. So for some of you, get ready. For those of you who have been single for a very long time, get ready. For those of you who have been single maybe for a minute, but your relationship had been over for a very long time before you actually cut the cord, get ready. So this part of the message won't resonate with everyone, especially for those of you in union. But I also feel like there's something in that relationship that has transformed. So I feel like there might be a reconnection of the romance. Oh, you're welcome, Cynthia. You're welcome. Yeah. So thank you, Spirit. Sometimes being forewarned is being forearmed, especially for those of you who are like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want romance. If it's a most compatible soulmate, it won't go like it went before. You won't get as hurt. It won't be as tumultuous. Because a most compatible soulmate is going to be someone who respects you, wants to love you unconditionally. Are you going to be able to accept that is going to be your role, right? The question you have to ask yourself, and answer for yourself. Can I accept unconditional love? Or am I going to continue to push it away? Am I going to continue to be afraid of it? Because in my experience, no one's ever done that before. I don't really know what that feels like. And for some of you, you do know what it feels like, and it went really, really bad. So how do you overcome that, right? And that's what you've got to let go of. That's what you've got to heal. That's what you've got to be aware of so that you can get into receptivity. So whether you're loving yourself, learning to love yourself, or whether you've got someone in wanting to love you, it's time to spend some time in looking at that, healing that, releasing what needs to be released. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there, I think. And with that being said, if you want to work with me, whether you need some integrated energy therapy because you do struggle with this, or any kind of inner core wounding, inner child wounding, shadow aspect, let the angels help you. Let them do the heavy lifting. And for those of you wanting a reading, definitely go to my website. Links are in the description box. The promo code for the hour is in the description box. Do that as soon as you can, because I really am going to have to look at spacing those out as October gets going. So you're very welcome, everyone. All right. Hit the like, the share, the subscribe, the heart. Have a beautiful weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.